What's up guys, it's Aaron from Aaron Anderson Photography. Welcome to the next episode of Composite Photography. Today we're going to shoot on location and show you how to get the perfect background every time and the tools that we use to get it. Before we start shooting, let me talk you through some of the tools that we use for composite photography. For starters, something I recommend having in every kit is a flashlight. The brighter and the softer, the better. The next thing is a tape measure. We're going to use this to measure the height of our camera and the distance of our camera to the subject that we're shooting. The next thing is a torpedo level. Now you can pick these up at any hardware store, but I use this to make sure my camera is nice and level so that when I get my final image into Photoshop, I don't have to do a lot of tweaking and warping to make it look correct. The last thing I recommend having, whether you're shooting composite photography or not, is a tripod. Make sure it's easy to adjust and really sturdy so you get the crystal clear image every time. Alright, so we're ready to get started, and the first thing we want to do is take a measurement of our camera so that we know where we're setting up. So take your tape measure, make sure it goes all the way down to the ground, and then the quickest and easiest measurement to take is to the bottom of the lens. So today the bottom of the lens is at 58.5 inches. Now, you're going to want to either have a notebook with you, or you're going to want to keep it in a program like Evernote. I just type it into Evernote on my phone, and then it syncs to my computer so that when we're on set later, I can pull it up really quickly. The next thing that we want to do is check that our camera is level. So pull out your torpedo level, and there's two things you're going to check. First, check the side, and we're good here. Then pop it onto the top, and make sure that bubble sits right in the middle. And again, this isn't absolutely necessary, but it's going to save you a lot of time when you get into post-production and you don't have to warp anything around or shift any backgrounds, and then you can use the whole frame. Okay, now we're ready to shoot, and what we want to do is we want to arrange where our subject is going to be in the final image so that we can measure the distance from our camera to the subject. So I have Brent standing in over here, which I'll actually shine a flashlight on so you guys can all see him. There he is, right in the face. But Brent's standing right there, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take out my tape measure, and I'm going to measure from my camera all the way over to Brent. Okay. So he's 6 feet from the camera, so we're going to take out Evernote, we're going to double check those numbers, and we're going to put them in there. Then we need to catch focus, and this is where your flashlight comes in super duper handy. So using your autofocus first, you're going to shine your flashlight on the subject that you want to focus on, hold down your autofocus and get it focused in, and then switch your camera over to manual focus so that it holds that focus and you can shoot the rest of your images. This is a great way to focus at night or especially in the dark. So let's do that now. Okay, so now my focus is set and we can shoot the rest of these images with no problems, and our focus is going to be in the right place. Right, so that's pretty much the setup. Everything is ready to go and we're ready to shoot. We've actually repositioned a little bit for the final image that I'm picturing, and I wanted to be a little bit closer. So we retook our measurements and everything, but we did the exact same thing that I just showed you. A couple quick notes now that I'm ready to shoot with this camera. I need to also write down in Evernote what my f-stop is, what millimeter my lens is at, and what ISO the camera is at. The shutter speed doesn't really change the picture, but those three elements will drastically change the way your final image looks, so you need to make sure you match that when you get into studio. For instance, we are at 24 millimeters on f8, and we're shooting at ISO 400 because it's really dark tonight. So we're ready to start shooting, and one of the things that I do with composite backgrounds is I make sure I bracket a stop in either direction. So in this case, it's a 10-second exposure to get the right background for us, but I'm going to do a 5-second exposure and a 15-second exposure, so I go one stop above and one stop below. Most cameras have a bracketing feature that you can turn on, but because this one's so long, I'm just going to go ahead and do it manually. Let's go ahead and shoot it. And that actually looks great. We need to shut this light off to make the right exposure, and we're going to do that in just a second, but that's how we're going to do it. Everything is ready, everything is set up. We have all of our notes, and now we're ready to go to the studio and shoot the final subject for this background. All right, guys, it is getting cold and we are trying to wrap up, but I wanted to give you guys one more quick tip, and that's about light painting. Now, when I scouted this location, it was the middle of the day. The light wasn't on, but I thought it would be, and it's not. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull out our flashlight and we're actually gonna light paint inside of the light to make it look like it's turned on. So I have my assistant over there, and I'm gonna start the exposure. He's gonna turn on the light and shine it into the light, and that way it'll make it look like the light is turned on. And I'll throw up a screenshot so you guys can see. But I just wanted you to know, sometimes things aren't gonna go as planned. That's why it's good to have your tools like your flashlights so that you can go over there, light paint, and get the shot you're looking for and make those composites. All right, guys, that wraps us up for this location shoot with composite photography. Watch for the next set of videos coming in studio showing you how to shoot the models for these backgrounds. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, be awesome.